Now, Ghana Goil has reduced fuel prices by 15 pesewas. This follows the government's directive for the company to review the prices downward after its engagement with leadership of the various transport operators. Thousands of passengers were left stranded in various parts of the country, particularly in the national capital yesterday, Monday, December 6, because the drivers were on strike to protest the high cost of petroleum products. The drivers were convinced that the cost of fuel prices is as a result of what they described as nuisance taxes. Before we hear from leadership of the union, though, on the outcome of their meeting with government, my colleague Michael Ashali visited the Goil filling station near the Kwame Nkrumah Circle interchange and reported that the prices at the pump has been brought down by 15 pesewas.
What I have here from the Circle station, and so just a few minutes ago I reported that the board was off in the first place, and that when we went to the pump itself, the fuel pump itself, it was shown to be selling per liter at 6.850. Right now, the board just came on and it's selling at 6.70. That is about 15 pesewas lesser than what it used to be. So from what I'm getting from the people who work here are telling me that late night yesterday, around 10 in the evening, there was an order for them to reduce the prices at the pumps, and it's supposed to come at the figure that you are seeing here. Now, the bit of disparity from the board and that of the pump is that the technicians are supposed to come around and make sure that they effect the changes on the pump. Not just anybody at all has the clearance to do that. So you may be seeing from some of the fuel stations close to you, from Goil especially, that the board will be displaying 6.70, but maybe at the pump it may be selling higher. But it tells you that management is working round the clock to make sure that what is on the board and what is on the fuel pump are all the same. So that's the update we are getting here, that the fuels are now going to be sold at Goil for 6.70 rather than what used to be 6.850.
Well, Communications Director of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, Imoro Abass, told Evans Mensah on PM Express government has heeded their calls and has also committed to reviewing the prices further in the mid-year budget review.
We were at the meeting and government officials were there. Well, the transport minister tabled our grievances, the petition we've written to him and what went on up to today. And finally, what they did was, yes, they have to see how best they could rectify the issue. And they told us that, yes, the taxes that we are looking for, the total scrapping, must have to go through Parliament for approval or any other thing that the parliamentarians will decide. So in the interim, they will start with using Goil, since that is the only oil company that they have control over, to start reducing the prices for us. And they even promised, effective from tomorrow, Goil will start reducing so that they will force the other oil marketing companies also, because if you have more higher price, nobody will patronize your products. So after lengthy discussions, this is what we arrive at, and we have to put down some conditions that, well, we want to take your words, but should there be any upward adjustment in their prices, then maybe we'll have to reassemble and see how best we can. After all, it is the current fuel prices that we are looking at. And we'll research and find out that some of the taxes could be reduced for us, whereby it will alleviate us from the current suffering situation in which we are.
Well, Deputy Finance Minister Dr. John Kumah told Joy News the high cost of petroleum product is not peculiar to Ghana. He's urging the general public to support government in its taxing regime to rake in more revenue to manage the economy. He spoke on the AM show earlier today.
When it comes to fuel, we, NPP and NDC, are all guilty with fuel politics. Unfortunately, I mean, if you look at a global trend, and here when we talk about COVID, our friends disagree, but this is actually what is happening. If you check the OPEC nations, they are reducing supply. As of last week, America has announced that they were going into their reserve to also supply fuel to bring down the prices. So these are things that usually as a country you may not have control over. And once we have all, submitted to deregulation and say that if it goes up, it goes up, it comes down, it comes down. These are some of the prices we pay. If government intervenes at this level to say that, instead of selling at 6.9 or 7, do 6.7, what it means is that then government has to look for resources to cushion the deficit or the balance, And that is why any time government is redistributing the resources, it means that something else that we could have done is not going to be done. We are just out of pressure, redirecting resources. So, like you said, did we have to get here? Did we have to let your wife nag and nag and nag? But as a husband, as to him, sometimes you expect your wife to understand the difficulty you are in. So if only she could be patient for a month or a week, circumstances could change, and then you could give to her without the nagging.
I see.
For instance, we are expecting the world prices to come down because the U.S. is intervening by also joining the supply chain. If these things begin to happen, you see the drop from the $90 downwards, and that would have resulted in the same changes that we are talking about without this cost that government has to bear.
And my colleague Michael Lashale is still round and about checking the prices of fuel, particularly in the Greater Accra region. We will bring his report to you in the course of this bulletin.